A very important goal of statistics is to get some information about a large group of subjects by studying characteristics of some of its members. Before we begin, we need to have a common understanding of some key terms. Data. Data are collections of observations. Collections of observations. Now these might be survey responses or measurements or observing and keeping records of how many of something that was observed, that sort of thing. Statistics. This is the practice of planning studies, obtaining data, and then organizing, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting the data. The practice of planning studies, obtaining data, and then organizing, analyzing, presenting, and interpreting the data. So, when we talk about statistics, we're talking about coming up with a plan for study, collecting that data, these collections of observations, and then finding a way to organize that, analyze the data, the number crunching, presenting it in graphs and charts, and then being able to explain what your results show. The next term is population. This is the complete collection of all objects to be studied. The complete collection of all objects to be studied. And as I mentioned, we're interested in being able to say something about a large group, some population that we're interested in, by studying the characteristics of some of its members. Okay, so we'll look at this large population. A census is when we actually collect the data from every member of the population. So this is the collection of data from every member of the population. But as we'll see, most of the time this is not possible or extremely difficult to actually get data from every member of the population. So most of the time we have a large group and we want to study some of the members of that group in order to draw conclusions about that large group. So that leads us to our next term, a sample. And this is a subset of the population. Most often, we won't be able to take a census. We will have to select a sample from the population, get information, study the characteristics that we're interested in of that sample, and then we'll go back and organize our results, analyze that, present that in some format, and interpret what this means about the whole population. So we'll see as we continue through the course that the method by which the sample data are drawn from the population is critical to the validity of the study. How we decide what goes in this sample is very, very critical to the all the results of the study. And in fact, if it's not done properly, there's no point in running the study because your sample is not what we say representative of the population. So that's going to be important. And usually the method of selection that's required is called random selection. So we'll be getting into that later. So these are some key terms that we'll be using throughout the course. So we want to get those defined and understood here at the beginning.